Hi everybody! So it is now March 2018 and I wanted to do a little update video to talk about how it's been going after I had my tear trough injections last June, so June of 2017. So we are 9 months post-injection and 5 months post hyaluronidase dissolver being added to the fillers. So I have some videos from October 2017 and I'm going to insert those in here so that you can see what was going on in October, and then I'll come back and update with what's been going on now. Hi everybody, it's mid-October now, so I thought I'd give you a little update on how my under eye area is doing after my tear trough injections. And I actually have a doctor's appointment in a couple of weeks to discuss next steps with him. So at the moment, mid-October, this is what it's looking like in like outside lighting, because I'm right in front of the window. So this lighting truthfully makes it look better than it really is. So this eye, we can still see how dark I am under my eyes, but this one is better, always has been, and this one is still bad because watch when I smile, you can see how it first of all, it's swollen under here, and you can see how it like bunches and moves kind of funny. So see, like when I smile, this side might be dark, but it's really okay. But this side has some weirdness going on. So not happy at all. I'm really regretting getting the injections because this has been months and I haven't been happy with these even for one day because they look so funny. So this is what I look like right now. And this lighting, let me go into the kitchen and show you some different lighting. Okay, now we're in the kitchen where we have a lot more yellow lighting. So this is what I look like just walking around the house. Oh, and by the way, this is with makeup on. So I have concealer and tinted moisturizer on right now. And I might as well be wearing absolutely nothing because it totally doesn't help and it doesn't matter. At least I don't think it does. So when I'm just walking around the house, this is how it is. And I really don't know if it matters whether I'm outside or inside. It just looks terrible all the time. So, yeah, there's a little bit closer. On the side, you can see, I think a little bit when I smile here too, that it's puffier on that side than it is on that one. Well, this is me massaging under my eyes because I put the filler in, or the dissolver. So I don't know what it looks like right now. I'm supposed to do this for a long time. Hi everyone. So today I had my doctor's appointment. So it has been 4 months since I initially had the injections in June. And it was finally time to go back to the doctor because I've been having so many issues and I've been so unhappy with my results. And today was the day that I really talked to him about next steps. What I thought was going to happen today was after discussing it with my husband, we kind of decided that I was going to just get everything dissolved. So I told that, like, that's what I decided to do. We'd been talking about it and that's what we wanted to try. I told that to the doctor today. And he said, well, that's not exactly how it works. I can't just dissolve it and then, be done with it. And he was really reluctant to put a lot of the oh my gosh, I have such a hard time pronouncing this because I'm just not familiar with this word. Hyaluronidase, I think it's called. He was really reluctant to put a lot of that in because I had some adverse reactions to the filler injections with the discoloration, and I bruised for so long, and the swelling, that was the big one. So obviously I didn't react. I had some reaction there. And so he was worried about doing a lot of injection to dissolve everything. And I started to cry because I was so frustrated. I guess that's my bad for not understanding that when they say we can dissolve it, it's my bad. I didn't understand that didn't mean you go into the office and they do a couple injections and boom, it's dissolved. I guess that's not how it works. So I was really upset, but what we decided to do was put a little bit of the dissolver in and see how we do. And then I go back in another couple of weeks
to look at it, see if I need more, what do I want to do. So this is me about 2 hours post dissolver injection. So I do have some dissolver, and I apologize, I've got no makeup, nothing's happening, because obviously I don't want to put any of that on when I'm getting something done to my face. So it's been 2 hours since there's been a little bit of the hyaluronidase put in, and it was very scary in terms of what it looked like immediately after. And I had to do a lot of massaging in the chair. Like, I stayed for like 20 minutes just to sit there and like rub like this all over. I did that for a long time. And then the doctor came in, and then he, did some massaging his own way. And so for the rest of the day, I have to massage the area like constantly, like a couple times an hour for a few minutes at a time. I'm gonna be doing this all day long. It's gonna be really annoying, but I think I only have to do it for just today. So this is, let me get a little more sunlight hopefully so you can see. It's not real bright out today, so I think this is a somewhat accurate look of how it's doing, because I know once I'm in the house, like in my bathroom, or when I put up the brighter lights, and like for the nice camera when I make a video, it makes my skin look great. But this is really what it looks like. I'm not panicking at the moment, but the jury is still out on how I'm feeling and how it's looking. And over the next 2 weeks, he said this takes a little time, so over the next 2 weeks it could keep changing, and what if it falls even more and then I hate it, or it looks even worse? I don't know. So I'm in a total state of, I'm not really sure at the moment. I just know I don't totally hate it, but I also haven't gone into the house and into the bathroom with my harsher lights to really look at it and see what I think. So that could be an unpleasant surprise when I get in the house. So I'm going to go do that, but I just wanted to update that I saw the doctor, and we, did a little bit of injecting to start reversing some of this, because I've just been so unhappy. So now I'm going to go in the house and look at it and see what I think in there, and hopefully not faint from unhappiness. So I'll talk to you all later.
So I had the dissolver, and like I said in the videos from October, I was supposed to go back in a few weeks after having the dissolver added the first time, so that we could reassess, see if we wanted to add more dissolver or like next steps. Well, I didn't end up going back after we had the hyaluronidase added just that one time, because after a couple of weeks I was fine with how it looked and I did not want to mess with it anymore. So in the meantime, in the last 5 months since October, since having the little bit of hyaluronidase added in, overall I've been happy that I had that done, and I am looking much more natural and much more like my normal, starting to sink under eyes, dark under eye area self. I'm feeling and looking a lot more like the old me. On the one hand, that kind of stinks because I wanted to look better than the old me, but on the other hand, I'm just so relieved that I look more normal and not weird. A lot of people, well, several, I wouldn't say a lot, but a lot for me. People have left comments on that original video, and they've offered opinions and they've offered kind thoughts, and I really appreciate that. So thank you everybody who watched that video and who left a nice comment for me. I appreciate that, and it's always nice to hear and see that you have support and that maybe somebody got something out of that video and out of that crummy situation. Something I have learned from this is that I would rather look old than weird. In general, I don't have good skin and I'm not aging well. It's just a fact of life. I'm in my early 30s, and it's just like aging is hitting me and it's coming on really quick, and things are sinking and things are sagging and things aren't looking fantastic. People just age differently. I don't particularly age well, it seems. And I also don't have good skin naturally. So doing the tear trough injections was a way to combat that, kind of, and make myself feel better about an area on my face that is aging poorly and doing so quickly. But a little goes a long way, and I would, in terms of the filler, like, okay, so one, back to my original point, I would rather look like my old, aging, sunken eye self than have weird, lumpy fillers in my face. I've done both. I have lived both, and I would rather look like the old me. If you have the choice, I know it seems like if there's something that makes you unhappy, I'm not saying don't do anything about it. I'm just saying if something goes wrong, you probably want to look like your old self than your wrong self, if that makes sense. So that's something big that I have learned. I think I've shared with several people now, is that I'd rather look old than weird. And number two, a little goes a long way. So after the filler was put in, I feel like it was probably a normal and acceptable amount for a lot of people, the amount of filler that the doctor put in. But after some was dissolved, a lot, well, I don't know about a lot. Like, there's obviously still filler left under my eyes even now, so it didn't dissolve everything, but just putting a little dissolver in to take away some of the filler, meaning there's less filler in my face, that little bit of filler looked better on me than the full amount of filler that maybe they typically put in, which I think is really interesting. So I don't know in the future if a doctor can address that, like how do you put a lot less filler, like just a little bit, because even just a little bit might really help you and make a difference in your self-confidence if you're considering having this done. Like if they want to put in, just say as an example, like a full syringe worth of filler, they did that for me and it like obviously caused some complications. I'm not saying that full amount is what caused the complications necessarily, but because of the complications, all of that filler was just too much. So by having less in my face, it looks better. So that's something to think about and that I will definitely be thinking about for the future. So here's a point that maybe some people don't want to hear. Maybe I shouldn't be thinking this way, but this is the truth. I have not ruled out these injections again in the future. I'm open to giving them a shot one more time, knowing that if they don't go well the next time, that I'm going to take that as a sign that it should not, this is just not something that I should pursue. So if you remember from my original video about these tear trough injections, I had these done, well, first of all, I've had these done both times. I've had them done twice now. The first time they turned out perfectly fine, absolutely no complications, and the results were wonderful. It's the second time that I made the video about where they didn't go so well. Both of the injections were done by the same doctor, and he's a board-certified plastic surgeon. So I was not having this done by a nurse injector. I was having this done actually by a plastic surgeon. But next time I go in to talk about having this done, I will not be going to the same doctor or even the same doctor's office. I will be going to someplace else entirely with a totally new doctor. I have gotten opinions from another doctor who's a plastic surgeon and also from a nurse at another office. So 2 different offices than the one I originally went to, and both of the people I spoke to at those offices said that they would not use Juvederm in their office for the tear trough area. So I found that quite interesting because what I had injected was Juvederm, and here I've got 2 other offices that would not use it because they say it's not the right product in those doctors' opinions for your under eye area. So that kind of made me feel good knowing that maybe it's the Juvederm that was the problem this time and not necessarily anything the doctor did, but I really don't know. Let me give you a better look in some different lighting in a different room, and I'll come closer to the camera here too so you can see how I'm looking now. This is much more like my natural, normal self, but there is still some filler in there because if there wasn't, I would be even more sunk under here. So as the filler was dissolved that little bit with the hyaluronidase, and then just as time passes and the filler decreases little by little on its own, I mean, it has been 9 months since the original injection, it's going back to looking more sunk, more dark because the filler is going away. So I just want to show you. It's still something that bothers me. I don't think it's ever going to not bother me. That's why I'm willing to try it one more time. But so let me give you a little bit closer look. And now let me preface this by saying I am not wearing makeup. And I break out and don't have nice skin. So we're going to get up close and personal in my face. So it might be a little bit scary, but I think it's worth showing you that area. Okay, so here's me being extra scarily close to the camera, but you can see how dark I am under there. And you can see how I am just sinking in that area still. Like, this is much closer to my natural. Like, there is not a lot of filler left in there. There's a little something, and it does make a difference. But obviously, in my opinion, if you saw me just like this, if you looked at this and I didn't tell you I had filler, there's no way you would know, right? Like you would never be able to tell that I had any filler under here. That lump is totally gone. The hyaluronidase fixed that like immediately, and it makes me feel so much better that that lump is gone. But you can see I'm not totally sunk in there yet. Like it's on its way a little bit, and it's dark, but that filler is still at least keeping this lifted a little bit to make me look a little fuller under there. Okay, so here I am a little bit farther away from the window, just in my natural bedroom lighting with the overhead light on and the shades open on the windows. And here I am in the bathroom with some natural lighting, but no like bathroom lights turned on. So I think, and I hope that this gives a pretty accurate look at my face. Okay, anyway, I hope that helps. I know that several people were asking for updates and curious as to how it was going, so I wanted to make this so that you could see, and again, hope that it helps somebody. I know in October I said that I regretted at that point having the injections. As of right now, I don't regret having the injections, and I'm much happier with how I look now. Again, I'm totally aware that I have like what looks in a way like 2 black eyes. That's just how I naturally look, and it's sinking again, and I look tired and I look older. I want to look like me with a little improvement, but I don't want to look like me but weird. So I'm fine right now. I'm accepting how it looks. I'm gonna let it just ride out for the next who knows how long. I have no plans at the moment to go back to a doctor and talk about having the injections done again, because there's still filler in there. But I do believe at some point in the future I will reopen this conversation and go to a totally new doctor in a totally new office and have a totally new product possibly injected under there. And if I do, then I will most likely keep you updated about that, about if it goes well or not. If it doesn't go well, I really, really believe I'm just calling it quits on the whole tear trough injections after that, because at that point, that would be 2 bad times in a row of having it done, 2 results I was unhappy with in a row. And at that rate, it's just like not worth it. And maybe that means it wasn't meant to be for me. So if anything changes or I have any news to report or do anything in the future, I will let you know. But in the meantime, I hope this update was helpful to you, and thanks for watching. Bye.